honestly, I think that might be what I love about fasting the most is it's customizable. I've sat with patients that have said, it's really important to me to eat dinner with my family. And we all get home from the sporting events and it's 8:00 at night. And that's when I'm going to eat dinner. So I've learned like, okay, that's important. That's oxytocin. It's part of what a value of you and your family. We need to make this effortless. So let's build a fasting lifestyle around this anchor of sitting at the family table at 8:00 at night. I've had other people say to me, I work out in the morning and I need to either eat before I work out or I need to eat right after I work out. And that's around 7 or 8 in the morning. And so we've customized family life or fasting lifestyles that will fit that early morning workout. So literally you can position this any way you want to position it. And in fact, I encourage you to position it for your lifestyle. And you might even position it differently every day if you're like me, where I don't really have a set routine and my routines are always changing. So I'm always adapting my fasting and eating windows according to my routine. So I'm going to go through some basic principles and then I'm going to go through some different scenarios. I'll use the scenarios in my own life. I'll use the scenarios I've been using with some of the high performing clients that we've had to really work some interesting fasting and eating windows through. To start with, the way that I look at every single day is that I have an eating window and I have a fasting window. So the eating window starts the minute my blood sugar goes up. So I'll give you an example. It's right now, it's 9:00 here in California. I was up early doing my morning time and then I had a call at 8:00 and I had this short little break before I came to you all and I'm hungry. And I'm like, cause I ate a really early dinner last night. I'm like, yeah, I want breakfast. Like I'm craving food. I'm craving breakfast. But I had to come on a call here with you all. So instead of like taking a bite of my gluten-free bagel that's waiting for me, I grabbed some bone broth because bone broth will most likely keep me fasted. I know this from my glucose monitor. And I saved the bagel for after this call because my brain was like, oh, if I even take a bite of that bagel, I've now opened up my eating window. And if I can wait another hour, it might be either hunger goes away and maybe I'm not going to open up my eating window for several hours, or maybe, I'll just open my eating window up an hour from now. So I'm always thinking the minute I spike my blood sugar, the eating window is now officially open. And I know because I wear continuous glucose monitors all the time, I'm very clear on what will pull me out of a fasted state and what doesn't. And bone broth doesn't seem to pull me out. It seems to actually bring my blood sugar down. So it was kind of a good resource at this moment to be able to curb my hunger while I maybe wait a couple more hours before I open my eating window. So the first thing you want every day is when I wake up in the morning, it's when is that eating window going to start? Now, some mornings I wake up and I'm not hungry at all. That was actually yesterday morning. And I had a really big day. The last couple of days, I've been doing a lot of YouTube videos and podcasting and production work. And I like my high performance work to be done in the fasted state. I do really well with that. So yesterday, I didn't open up my eating window until 1:00. And then again, once it opened up, then I was now in and eating food. So the first thing to do is to figure out when's that eating window for you. And every day it could change. Now, sometimes I do more of a reverse approach, which is, okay, what is the healing effect of fasting that I want? Am I wanting to go a little longer because I want more autophagy? Do I feel like I need to reset my gut? If I feel like I need to reset my gut, I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, I'm not hungry. I've got a busy day. I'd like to reset my gut. Could I go all the way to dinner? And maybe I'll just have dinner. So I'm thinking about my day, the state I want to be in, and the repair that I would want. So that's sort of how I decide that eating window. And to me, the way my brain visually sees it is it moves around. That eating window moves around for me. Sometimes the eating window is 10 to 5. Sometimes the eating window is 3 to 8. But I'm constantly moving the eating window around. And when I have a time period where, I want to use fasting as a healing tool, then I just have to adapt my eating window. So I think the first thing to think about is sort of come at it from the eating window perspective. And when are you opening it up and when are you closing it down? And then how many hours does that leave for fasting? And are those hours enough to create the healing effect you want to create in your body? I mean, that is like a daily thing that goes through my head all the time. And then, if like Sunday was Easter and it also happened to be my husband's birthday and we had a ton of family here. And so my brain was like, well, I know I'm going to have this really big meal at 6:00 at night. It's not my preferred time to have a big meal, but this is what the family is doing. So I fasted all the way up until the big meal. And then we sat down and it was quite a meal. It was like a 4-hour meal where we sat there and ate till 10. And I just enjoyed this incredible experience and all the food that it provided me. But then I knew that at 10 o'clock, my eating window was shut. And so the next day I was like, okay, that was really late. I think I'm going to fast a little longer. And on Monday, I didn't open my window up until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So play with the first advice I have is on a daily basis, play with that eating window. Where are you putting it based off of your needs? The biggest challenge you have that I see sometimes is if you have a need for food in the morning because it's post-workout and maybe you have a social event at night. And so you're not going to have a long enough period for a significant fasting window. So those are the days you wouldn't fast. Like there are some days that, I don't fast, which is a lot of what I teach, that it's okay to have days that you don't fast. And then you would just maybe open up your eating window at 7 or 8 in the morning and you're kind of grazing all day. And then you close it at 7 or 8 at night. That would not be a fasting day. So think in terms of how you move this eating window around.